Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Lava City Threads. I'm Alveraz. Let's go ahead and go through some recent listings. Let's start here. This is a pair of Tom's shoes. These are pretty bread and butter for me. I don't know if you guys are picking them up as well. These ones, if I remember right, they are the caramel shoes. These are 6.5 burnt orange rose. They're corduroy. So I think there's two different types of the caramels. There's the corduroy and there's also the canvas. These ones are the corduroy, but let's do a quick check here on eBay for some comps. I listed them at $26.07 right now. I have a 10% off sale going on. There's my listing right there. And you'll notice, like down here, you'll see this little star next to this guy that makes him a top seller status. I also have that. The reason I didn't get this video up a little bit earlier is because I've been on the phone with eBay all day, because apparently there was a mistake in my business preferences that knocked my top rated seller status down, or it removed the star. So I just got that fixed today. It'll be back up tomorrow. But in the meantime, we're going to be looking at my listings, and it doesn't have the star right now. And that's because, just so that way you know, one of the policies is you need to have 1 day shipping. I had it set for 2 in an older setting, but I forgot to delete that apparently, or I don't know. There was some shenanigans going on with eBay, I think. And there was 2 different listings there, 2 different policies. One was a 2-day, one was a 1 day. I had it set to 1. They said I might have had it set to 2, but they were unsure. Anyway, we got it all fixed. Moving on. Okay, Tom's caramel shoes. These are 6.5. So you'll see there's other ones here. So I'm pretty right in the middle there on pricing. 26.07. You can see this pair right here is listed at 28, and there's also, so here's another caramel here, and that's the canvas style. Now, if you guys follow STR, your sell-through rate, you're going to notice that there's a low sell-through rate on this. However, I don't really follow sell-through rate as much as I used to, only because I know what brands sell for me. And I'm sure in your store you have some brands that sell better than others and better than other resellers. And Tom's is one of those things for me. And I would like to think that it's a lot of my systems that are in order, and that includes my title structure. I use the acronym BIGS. That's brand, item, gender, and size. I like to use stronger cover photos, even though it takes me a few seconds more. So my listings are pretty sharp and they're pretty tight, and normally I am top rated seller status, so that helps my sell through as well. So I have a stronger sell through than most in Tom's, and like this pair here, this pair of caramels will probably take me about 3 weeks to sell. But if you look at the actual sell through rate here, I'm sure it's probably around 20% or something like that. With that said, it's not always accurate, and I think something you have to be very careful of is, like right here it says 146 results, right? But when you're looking up sell-through rate, make sure you're drilling down to the exact item and style that you're listing, because there can be some mistakes that you find within the status that eBay kicks back to you. For instance, here you go. Let me see. Looking down here, you'll see these Tom's Caramel Yellow Sunshine Heritage, right? Well, I don't think I don't think these are caramels, but they're added into that, right? Because someone listed it incorrectly and also put caramel. That happens more times than you think, where a lot of new sellers or just someone who's listing a couple things out of their garage, they're not even resellers, will kind of screw up that STR by posting things that don't quite belong in that category. So make sure you're drilling down and putting Tom's Caramel corduroy if you need to, or canvas, or being a little bit more specific so you can get more accurate results. Okay, enough with the lecture. Let's take a quick look here at the sold comps on that. And again, right here, right, you're going to see that it says 4 results for Tom. Well, I know for a fact that's incorrect. The first thing that sticks out to me is you'll see these boots, these ankle Toms. Those aren't even, again, the right ones, right? These are wedge heels. These aren't even, and these other 2 here are canvas, but they're not the corduroy ones that I'm selling. And as you scroll down, Let's see what we can find down here. I bet, yep, here we go. I was about to say, I bet we find a corduroy one. And sure enough, here's a Tom Carmel corduroy. And that wasn't even counted in the sold comps, right? And so I'm sure there are plenty more. I'm not going to go through all that. The point is, make sure you're refining if you are an STR adherent. Okay, moving on here. And that was a pair I think I picked up. The Toms I picked up from a recent yard sale. Okay, next up we have this pair of fresh produce capri pants. I had to look this pair up, this brand up, because I hadn't remembered that I had sold these before, which apparently I did. And I had two that I got from a recent yard sale, and both of them turned out to be pretty good. And if you are into sell-through rate, this sell-through rate on these were pretty nice. So make sure if you're seeing some fresh produce out there in the wild that you are looking it up, especially if you can find stuff like this, some capris right now in the spring and the summer, or a linen pair. I think I also have a pair of linen fresh produce capris that are out there as well. Here's the listing right here. I got it on sale here for $24.27. I won't do this for all of them, but let's look at some comps here too, and then we'll move a little bit faster with some of the other ones that I've listed. But I just want to kind of go through a few comps so you can see some of them as well. There's my listing up there. And again, I have noticed, and I mentioned this in the last video, in the What Sold video, that I have noticed an increase by changing my cover photos. I currently use Photo Room, but you can use, I think there's several different apps out there to kind of give a little better vibe in your background, right? So this one's got a little bit of that boho vibe, or not boho, maybe just like vacation, resort, spring kind of feeling. So I got that background put on the back of that photo, and as you can see, that one's going to stand out a little bit more than some of these other ones that are just kind of, laying down on their carpet. That's probably a flat lay, but oh, look at that. There's the other fresh produce capris in this actual. So I have two in the top four here in the listings. And I'm actually, let's see. Yeah. Okay. So that one's 24. This one's 31 because this one turned out to be a little bit more original, and it's got that contrast stitch. So that one was listed for $31.47. This one's listed for $24.27. And let's take a look at some of the solds here. So yeah, as you can see, there's 350 results in the solds for the fresh produce capris, which is a pretty strong sell-through rate. So I'll probably get rid of these pretty soon. And I did notice some engagement on a few different of the platforms. I cross-list to a few more. I use Nifty. And so over on Depop, I think I saw some action there, a lot of engagement there, and I think I got a couple offers already. But I think the offers actually came in from Poshmark. Okay, so here's some other fresh produce ones. So I'm right in the ballpark there of the right price, maybe a little bit on the higher end, it looks like. But there you go, that's that. Let's move it on here. Here's some Brooks Ravenna I picked up recently listed. These are the Ravenna 7s, right? So these are pretty old. This is one of the older models. I don't know what they're up to now. I think they're up to like 11 or 12 or something. You can write down in the comments if you know for sure. We'll take a quick look at these. Women's size 7 in Ravenna 7 style, gray smoke, pearl pink, athletic, run sneaker. And when I'm taking photos of the sneakers, I just try to get that cover done, of course, that I do over in Photo Room to give it a little bit of pop, give it a little bit of vibe. These are running. I put like keywords like city, urban, jog, whatever into Photo Room, and it spits me out this little quick background. It seems to help, and I don't know if I got to my point there a few minutes ago, but what I noticed is that my sales did increase because of using some of these cover photos. So if you'd like to give it a try, go for it. I enjoy leveraging AI whenever I can to improve sales. Okay, here's a top shot that I like to get. Then I like to get both sides there. Definitely get the soles. As you can see here, plenty of tread there. There's a little bit of wear, but there's plenty there. And I get the tag, of course. But these are down to $26.07. I'll probably take an offer around 19 or 20 bucks on these. But I usually get rid of Brooks pretty fast, as I'm sure you do as well. Moving on to the next one. J-Jill. This is pretty bread and butter for me. We pick up a lot of J-Jill around here. I'm sure a lot of you do. And with J-Jill, though, you're going to want to be a little bit selective. This one was, I think it was 100% silk. I don't think it says it, though, there. Let's take a quick look at this. But I'm pretty, yeah, you know what? I've got to add that in there. But this is 100% silk. Let me see if I can confirm that with one of these. Yep, there it is. And there's the tag there. Always try to get the fabric tag in your photos as well. As you see, it's 100% silk, but as you see up here in the title, I screwed up and did not put, oh, there it is. It is there. Okay, so I didn't put 100%, right? I just put silk. So you can put 100%. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Anyway, it's listed as silk. It's a purple one. It's stuck out. I know it's a little wrinkly, but I don't really mind that. Usually on the flat lay, I'm able to rub out the wrinkles on the flat lay, but on this one, apparently I did not, probably because it's silk. It's a little bit more difficult. So in shirts, I like to get that cover, front, a full back, a pit-to-pit measurement. Then I will get a neck to hem measurement and then all the necessary tags. And then if there's any hits or anything, I'll usually get that. Like this one here is a roll tab. You can see that right here. So that's a roll tab sleeve, right? Because this connects up in here. But as long as I had that in the title, that's okay. But sometimes I'll take a little close-up picture of that to make sure I got that. So that was picked up at a yard sale as well. My average cost of goods is $2 right now because I am making a lot of deals around town. So that's going really well. And so I'm able to sell some of these, especially my bread and butter, not necessarily undercutting the market, but staying as competitive as I can with some of my prices because my margin's pretty strong. So I went to an estate sale recently where a gentleman's parents passed away. So that's always a little sad, but they left a lot of resort wear and like cruise wear and stuff like that. So this particular piece here, it had that kind of chiffon psychedelic thing going on with it, but it's called a button poncho by Susan Graver. So she had a lot of Susan Graver, and I don't know a lot about Susan Graver. You guys can tell me how you've done with it, but I'm about to find out. Again, the sell-through rate wasn't great. You know, I did take a peek at it. If it is a new brand, I'll at least take a look at it once to kind of get a vibe for it. But as long as I've sold pieces like it, and I feel a little comfortable with the style, I'll go for it. And right now being spring and summer and a lot of this kind of chiffon lightwear stuff being sold on my store anyway pretty quickly, I went with it. So I picked up a few of these Susan Graver pieces, and especially you can see the size here is 3X. I felt pretty comfortable with it. Despite the fact that, who was that guy on Gilligan's Island, his wife? Sweetie, what was that? The wife's name, the Thurston Howell, what was it, Howell? Am I making that up? She doesn't hear me. She's got her earphones in, I think. It was like a Howell or something, right? Anyway, the wife of the older guy on Gilligan Island. It's got those vibes. I don't know. That's a Gen X thing, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, here we go. Susan Graver poncho, women 3X style top. Liquid was a cool keyword I found that I thought was kind of cool and seems to do well online. Susan Graver 3X, made in India. There's that. Cool. Let's see what's next. Oh, then I picked up this piece. This was a pretty neat one. This is a vintage piece. Patchwork leather. It's got all these kind of flags stained into it. But I also like the stitching here because it looks like a lot of different pieces of leather with different kind of tones to them. And these kind of vintage pieces I do pretty well on. I pick up a lot of this, and this was a woman's, by the way, and it took me a moment to kind of figure that out because it did say 2XL, so that could go either way. I was a little confused by that, but what gave it away, and hopefully you know this too, is the buttons, where the buttons were on the left, right? And then they go into the eye holes on the right. That usually indicates that it's a woman's, and I did verify it later. But let's take a quick look at that. What I'm asking for on that, asking $42.27. I'll probably get that. I think I've already had some engagement on a couple other sites. I don't think I've had any here on eBay. Here's the tag here if you want to take a look. Find that out in the wild. You want to take an extra look it up, check it out. Pretty cool little leather piece here. Prana. You know, Prana's hit or miss for me. I usually notice that Prana men's has been doing pretty well for me. But the thing with this one, of course, is that it's long. It does have the roll tabs, but most importantly, it's linen. So linen pieces, despite the brand right now, I'll usually take an extra look. And I'm selling this one out there for about $29. I'll probably get about $25. You know what? I might even get asking on this. Prana sometimes gets real hot, then it gets real cold. But something like this, considering the weather right now and this El Nino or whatever we're about to face with a lot of heat coming in here on the western areas and in the Pacific Northwest, who knows? I could get asking here on this one. So I priced it a little bit higher than the market, I believe. Next up is another linen blend piece, and this is Topshop. Not a great sell-through if you're a sell-through person, sell-through reseller, into looking up sell-through rates. But again, this is a little romper, and it was really cute, and it should go, mostly because of the linen attributes. So I just want to kind of keep pushing through these. Again, here's a Poetry dress, right? Poetry's a little bit better. I think is Poetry an Anthro brand? I don't know. It could be. Anyway, this one had some pretty interesting design qualities to it. Had this split cuff here, the buttons down the side, and it had this kind of gauzy fabric to it. So I thought that was pretty nice, and especially with the linen, it should do pretty well. And Poetry, I believe, was or might still be an Anthro brand. I'm not sure. You might want to look that up. And this is a Band of Gypsies. Again, I don't think it's like a great sell-through rate at all, but the thing I liked about this is it was a wrap skirt. I can show that to you real quick. So it's a little bit different. So it's got that kind of boho, cottagecore kind of thing going on, but most importantly is it's a wrap, as you can see right here. So it can kind of fit a little bit. You know, you might be a medium, but if you're looking at this and you're looking at the sizes, you're going, hey, maybe I can still make this work because it's got these straps on it. And a lot of that I do pretty well in the spring and summer with these kind of really light pieces. And it was also called a peacock wrap skirt, or at least that was the style on it. Yeah, down here you can see. So that was just kind of a cool keyword. There's the tag if you want to take a look and look those up, which again, I don't think it's a great sell-through rate, but I should do pretty well on it. And again, the same thing applies here. This one's vintage. Shea Bali, I don't think has a great sell-through, again, if that's your thing, but I do pretty well with these kind of bright, vibrant, light dresses, maxi, middies, and even minis in the spring and summer, especially if they've got color block, geometric patterns, and they have these kind of different cuts here. I don't know what that would be called. No, layered, I guess. Let's actually take a look at this, because I don't know if I really looked this one up. Let's look up Shea Bali dresses. So I have mine right there listed for $39.57. Oh, there's the one just like mine, right? $25.49. Hey, you're gonna like mine better. Come on, look at that. Mine looks cool. That one doesn't look as cool. All right. Here's plenty more, and it looks like somebody just listed the hell out of a pretty similar design there. There's one that's kind of like mine. But anyway, mine's up there at the top of the market, obviously. There's 14 results there, which probably means there's not many sold. Yeah, there's 2. Okay. Well, 16 and 40, right? So there's a pretty wide difference there. So again, if you're into sell-through rate, you're like, no, thank you. But for me, that's kind of a style buy. Right? And you guys have probably heard this a lot, especially over the last year or two. There's a lot of resellers out there talking about style pickups. That's a little bit newer than it used to be, but I'm getting better at it, or at least I'm trying to, and working on that. And what's next? And again, Garnet Hill, style-based dress picked up, blue, embroidered. I've been getting a lot of linen lately. I don't know if you've noticed that, but this one's kind of cool because it's got that kind of chambray vibe to it, look to it, you know, kind of denim-y, but it's not. It's linen, so that's kind of cool. And it's got some pockets down here, and I really like the this kind of geometric Aztec-y kind of pattern it had on the neck. And here's another Garnet Hill linen piece, linen blend, tencel, geometric, stripe, cropped. But all these should do pretty well. I tend to get rid of these pretty fast. And back to some J. Jill here, linen blend. Just picked that up at, I don't know if I got that one on a deal with a distributor or if that one was with, I think that was with somebody on a Facebook Marketplace pickup that I worked out a deal on there. And these do well on their own. I'm going to get a little bit less on this one. This is one of those Nike golf dresses. Pick these up, obviously, in the spring and summer if you can, with golf season. The earlier, the better. You know, like I usually with my golf stuff, I try to get as much as I can, like late winter, December, January, and then start really plugging it out in February so that way you're hitting all the big PGA tournaments and all that stuff. And pieces like this are really nice too because it's not just like a Nike golf polo, right? This one's got the dress and it's got the scored action on the inside, the extra layer there on the bottom, and it's golf tour performance. The only thing that's going to knock down my price here is that it's a small golf course patch here on the chest that is from up here in Central Oregon. So usually I'll only pick up golf clothing if it has like a PGA Tour golf course on it. I'll pick that up, you know, if it's like Masters or something like that, I'll pick it up. Usually not the smaller ones, but since this was kind of a unique Nike dress piece, I did pick that up. This one's pretty cool. Vintage Eddie Bauer skirt. Green corduroy. This one had a lot of things going for it, and it was from the 90s, so I really dug that. I think I might have made it close to asking. So I'm asking $43.97 right now. I do have that 10% off thing going on eBay, but I think this will go pretty quick actually. I will let you know. I post those Tuesday What Sold videos, so keep an eye on if you haven't already, subscribe and check out my Tuesday What Sold videos. And you should probably see at least a couple of these pieces sold by then. So this it had some interesting colors too, right? It had that kind of forest green, but then the kind of pink inside the colors. I'm sorry. Pink floral design inside it, inside the paisley work. Okay. Moving on, let's take a look at a few more. So here's a vintage J. Crew shirt. You know, had the kind of the candy cane stripes going on. J. Crew's pretty consistent for me too. Bread and butter, you know, selling anywhere from 20 upwards to 35 bucks a piece. Right around in that ballpark, you know, depending on what the piece is itself. This here I'll probably get low 20s for in the end. Oh, that was my last video right there. That was posted last week. The cover's just a little bit of clickbait. It's really a what sold video. I do talk about something that I had accidentally listed. That was a Max Mara dress that turned out to be fake, or actually to be determined. I'm still deciding if it's fake or not. I don't know. But I did take it down. I had listed it, realized it was probably fake, and then delisted it. And it's still under investigation, my investigation, to find out. So anyway, go back and check out that video. It's a good one. There's a lot of great what solds on there. Here's an Anthro piece, Akimi Kin and Kin. It just says Akimi Kin up here in the title, but it's actually Akimi and Kin, if I think, or plus Kin or something like that. We could take a quick look at it. This is a knit. It has a waffle design, 30 bucks. I do pretty well with Anthros. I'm sure you guys do too. Sometimes it can move pretty slow, and it is kind of style dependent nowadays. But depending on what you pick up, it could do pretty well for you. There's a tag if you need to look for it, but you know, obviously it says Anthropology right there on the label. These do pretty well for me. Now I know it's out of season, but that's also why I jacked up the price a little bit, because I know that by the time fall does come around, probably late August is when my fall stuff really starts picking up. I really start listing the fall stuff in like beginning of August, but by the end of August, all of these kind of fall pieces, I'm getting some notifications from Depop. All of the pieces that I pick up I pick up a lot of fall and winter during the summer and spring months, and vice versa for the other seasons. Pick it up, store it, save it, because you get it for cheaper, right? Get it for a better cost of goods, because nobody's really out there at these sales right now buying a bunch of winter jackets except me, and I'm getting them for a $2 cost of goods, saving them up, piling them up. So usually I do that, but if I get pieces like this where it still feels a little bit light, a little bit springy, I'll throw them in there in the spring and the summer and just jack up the price a little bit, because I will have periodic sales, and by the time it does hit late August, this will be at a sweet spot and should sell pretty well by then. So I'll probably get like 23, 24 bucks on that one. But with the cost of goods of $2, I'll take that all day. Sigrid Olsen, I don't know if you guys know about this one. I only started picking it up not too long ago, but it's really kind of nice, and it's got a nice sell-through rate if that's your jam. And this one, where did I pick that one up at? This was a yard sale, I'm pretty sure. But let's take a quick look at that one, because I want you guys to look at that label. Here we go. So Blue. Oh, come on. There it is. So Blue, Sigrid Olsen, large. It is vintage, and you guys should be checking this out. If you guys come across this, please look it up. It's a little better than you might think. I've got it listed there for $31.47. What I did notice, and you got to be careful with stuff like this, there's a little piece of lint sitting right here on the chest, and it could be looked at, and this piece could be passed on just because of that, because it kind of sticks out, doesn't it? So I might have to go out there, pull it, get rid of that piece of lint, and reshoot these. But that's a time consumer, right? So I might not, and you can see it in so many pictures. It's such a bummer. But it's not a stain or anything. I remember for sure it's not. It's just a piece of lint. I'm just hoping the buyer can see through that, or at least recognize that that's what that is. So listed for $31. I think I'm going to get asking on that, and I think it'll be relatively soon. I know I'm getting action on it somewhere. I don't know if it's Depop or Mercari or no. Yeah, I don't remember, but somewhere I've been looking to see like who's clicking that bad boy and getting views and likes and all that good stuff. And it is happening. Okay, so here's another vintage piece. Catherine, I've been picking up a lot of vintage too, if you can't tell. And this is another linen piece, and it's a real big, pretty piece. Let's take a quick look there. And you know, Catherine Dean, no, not a big sell-through rate one, but there's the tag there. Make sure you're looking at it. It's a really clean, nice linen piece, office, career piece, or even resort wear, maybe. I don't know. That's up to you guys to decide. I don't know. I just know I'm going to sell it. Okay. And I have that listed really high, $60. So I think I caught some comps on that dress that were real. On this skirt that were really high. I just kind of jammed through that, but I had it listed there for about $60, and we'll see. Oh, here's a cool. I don't run into much Disney, or I do, but it's that modern stuff that I can't get rid of, right? So I don't pick that up. But when you've come across the Disney store, I do want to look at this real quick because I want to show you the label. Make sure you're looking for this one here. If you find it at the Disney store, these kind of older ones. These are the ones that I do well on. Depending how old it was, this one's from the 90s. Pretty cool tank top. Got Minnie Mouse there and a hula dress. I mean, come on, that's got spring all over it. Happy Fun Disney. Got a little Disney-ish background going there. So I got that one listed for $45. Oh, I love this jacket. So this is a vintage flax jacket. It's a linen full zip chore jacket which is really cool. So it's got these kind of like barn pockets. It's got this old like almost Carhartt chore style with these crop sleeves. It's big and baggy, and it's actually pretty heavy for linen too, but it's 100% linen. Let's go take a look at the tag so you can keep an eye out for it. I think it had an interesting tag too. Yeah, kind of a big Flax by Jan Engelhardt. Maybe some of you, my vintage friends out there, resellers, can tell me more about this, because I'm really interested in this brand now. And I did some comps on it, and $80 wasn't too far off. Again, even though it's linen, you know, it's one of those kind of strange ones that's on the fence seasonally, right? Because it's a jacket. It's still a jacket, and it was kind of heavy for being linen. So I did price it a little bit above market, so that way it does fall into that sweet spot when people start looking for those maybe fall jackets. I wouldn't quite call this a winter one, but you can still wear it in the spring and the summer, right? It'll still, because it's airy, it'll give you a little bit of air on the inside. So made in Lithuania, I thought that was pretty unique. Generous size 1G. I am not stuck with anything unless I stick to it. It's an interesting extra tag on this. So anyway, if you know anything about Flax, let me know. I think it's kind of cool, especially with these, again, with these chore pockets, these big chore pockets made it pretty cool and interesting to me. Next up, I pick up a lot of Nike, especially kind of the more substantial pieces like this. But I mean, I'll sell like those Nike cutoff shorts, you know, not cutoff shorts. What are they called? Like those joggers, the jogger shorts. I've been selling a lot of those lately, and Nike golf tournament stuff. A lot of different pieces from Nike. I'll pass on some of the basic stuff, but this one here, pretty cool. I thought it was vintage, but maybe not. But this is Nike International, so I'll show you the tag on that, so you guys can keep an eye out for it. I don't come across it much, the Nike International stuff. In fact, I don't think I've sold a Nike International one in a pretty long time. So you can see, no, it's not vintage. You can see the top part right here. Well, it's not letting me zoom. The SP17, if memory serves, that's spring 2017, so that's not vintage. It's an extra small, but it is the international one, and it had some pretty cool parts to it. There's the tag you're looking for, but you'll just see it, Nike International on it. And I think the last Nike International piece I sold had the same writing somewhere on the jacket. Asking for $40, I'll probably get around 35. It's got that kind of spring jogging feel still to it, which I kind of cheated and added that right to my cover right now, because I want to get rid of this before fall if I can. So I have that kind of like spring evening vibe going on in the back. So it might be a little bit cool outside, but it was a pretty light jacket. So hopefully I'll be able to get rid of that close to asking here pretty soon. Oh, this one was amazing. In fact, I think I brought this up in the last video, but this has got a really cool vibe to it. And the lady that I sourced it from, it was at an estate sale. She told me that her grandfather used to wear this all the time, and that he did get it back in, I want to say she said the 60s, and has had it forever. And so it's kind of cool when you can get that kind of neat story behind it. Let's take a quick look at it. Rare vintage smoking pipe wool. So I couldn't find it anywhere, so I'm putting rare. Smoking pipe wool sweater. Here's the pattern up close. Really cool. And it did have a fabric tag in it. 50% wool and acrylic. Did it have anything else? Oh, it was made in Italy, which made it even cooler. So a really fun vintage piece, and experiment with vintage, especially if if you can't find the brand and it's unbranded, and you know there's something substantial about it and cool about it. Go ahead and experiment, jack that price up. I know I'm asking a lot for this, So I have no idea what this is going to land at. You know, this could stick around for months and I can get around 40 bucks for it. But right now, I'm selling it for $98.79. And with the 10% off sale going on over at eBay, it's $88.91. But on my other platforms, it's right around 98 bucks. We'll see how that goes. Of course, only do that and experiment with that if you have the space and time to do that. A lot of resellers don't have that kind of space, so be careful of that. Storage space. This one was a no-brainer for me because I wish you could fill this one. This one is this hand woven artesian knit piece. It was a 2-piece. Marilyn Nelson. I couldn't find anything on this. But how cool does this look? So it's got like an office vibe maybe going to it. It's got kind of a longer skirt here, 25-inch skirt. And then you have the neck to hem 23-inch here. But here's the tag, Marilyn Nelson, hand woven. And that's all the information on it. But it's, see how thick that looks? That's how it feels too. It was just really cool. And I loved it. And it even had some like interesting lining going on the inside. So somebody took really good time with this. That's what I liked about it. And it had an underpiece under the skirt. So it was layered underneath. So someone took some good time with this. I don't know anything about this brand. I guess I could have researched it a little bit more. Excuse me. But anyway, cool piece. We'll see. I jacked up that price again. I experimented with it. We'll see how it goes. It's got, what, 3 views? Only been listed, I think, for a few days. It's got 3 views on eBay, but I'll start getting some action on that. I just have a good feeling. And again, this type of stuff comes with experience. You know, I've sold these over the years pretty well when I get these kind of interesting office, maybe not hand woven, but interesting vintage pieces that are pretty rare or that I can't find, unlabeled, that kind of stuff. It can do well. This one I know does well. So this is, I'm going to mispronounce this and butcher it, but Carreg Don. I've sold this before and it's done really well. That kind of Irish wool, fisherman, fringe. This one's got the fringe going on it too. This is a shawl wrap, there wasn't too many of them. They do a lot of, what I've sold in the past with this brand has been sweaters. This one was actually a cable knit shawl, so I thought that was kind of cool. I did have to temper the price a little bit. I thought I was going to get more than what I'm actually asking for it. Yeah, I thought this was going to be worth more. I listed it for $63.97 with the 10% off. It's $57.57. I thought I was going to get more for it, but I did comp it with a few others, and I wanted to be realistic on this one. And you can see here how it's laid out flat, how it just kind of wraps around. And here's the tag you're looking for. Made in Ireland, 100% merino wool. Really cool piece. Make sure you grab it and research. I mean, you don't even need to research it, honestly. These ones go pretty well. Unless you've had a different experience, let me know. I mean, if you've had one sit in your store for a long time, let me know and let's figure out why. Quince. So that's not necessarily a new one I discovered, but it's one I'm discovering slowly that really sells well. So here's a Quince straight pants, women, kind of a loungy pair here. If you want to see what you're looking for there on the tag, it's pretty simple. I want to say this was an Anthro one too. This might be an Anthro adjacent piece. I'm not too sure. Again, I like to get the waist and the inseam on pants, get a front and back shot, and there's my cover. That one should go actually pretty well. When I do get Quince, I don't get it often, but when I do get it, well, it is kind of style-based. You're going to want to obviously make sure it's the right style you want. I won't pick it up if it's too basic or light, but I do pretty well with Quince. And there's my dog. I think that was last weekend sales. So something like that. Saturday, Sunday, something. Recent pretty simple J. Crew pant, but it's got that tartan plaid wool blend going for it, and of course it's new with tags, so I'm gonna take that on J. Crew. Here's a really cool Maeve dress. This was like a midi, right? Geometric floral print. Pretty cool piece, Maeve. This is a new brand to me. You guys know about these guys? TFIOM. This is The Future is on Mars shorts. And I happen to have a thrift store in town, and it's really weird. Maybe you guys have a thrift store like this, where they just have that one particular rack of certain things. This one has this one out of the whole store, where I always get really, really lucky, is shorts, right? So whenever I hit their shorts rack, I find some weird brand that's worth a ton of money. This one isn't a ton, right? I mean, this one's $40, but still a $40 pair of shorts that you find pretty cool. And usually I find something pretty exciting. And it's just one of those things. I don't know. Do you guys have a thrift store where you have that one lucky weird rack that always seems to produce? So here's the tag you're looking for there. This one had this kind of corduroy, and it's got different print parts on it, different color block. So the future is on Mars. Be sure to take a look and research that if you find it. Here's a pair of Clark's loafers. A few pairs of shoes coming up I want to show you real quick. Clark's hit or miss, but if you get something kind of unique like this, these were in like really new condition. They're suede, they're purple. Those will go. Burgundy. Thrasher hat. I do grab hats periodically. I had a guy down the street, this skater dude and snowboard veteran guy, had like a ton of his old skater and snowboard stuff out, which and he's just like, take this crap. And so I just grabbed a ton of it. And it's actually been selling really well. And I've got some really nice pieces from him. I think he might have been sponsored. I think that's why. I think why some of his pieces came from some sponsorships. Not that Thrasher one. That's just a regular old Thrasher trucker cap. So, I don't know what I'm selling that for, 10 or 15 bucks. But a lot of his other stuff was really cool. A pair of vintage Tony Lamas. I sell a lot of boots. So these ones, I think this was the elephant print ones, though. These ones were pretty rare. And I think, these ones are up for $224. So $249, and you can do some comps on this if you want. I'm right there in the middle of the market. So I will, and I have 10 views on that. It's only been up, I think, a few days. And they're in pretty decent condition. Yeah, these are pretty strong condition for used worn boots. Make sure you guys are getting the pictures on the inside of your boots of the codes, so that way people can check those out. And I always get people asking questions about calf size on boots, so I just take the measurement now, flat lay it, and throw it on there, so that way I can kind of point to it. I don't even know if I'm doing that right. I'm not new to boots. I get them a lot. I'm in Central Oregon, so I get a lot of boots out here. But I don't really know. I should probably do better research on the best way to give proper measurements of boots. Cool. So those are pretty dope. Okay, so Spring Step Cathaleta loafers. I was surprised. These ones, actually, I think I already sold these. Let's take a look. But I just did a quick comp on those and discovered, already sold those. Sold them for $42. Nice. Only had them up for a few days. So make sure you guys are looking that up. Spring Step is you can see it right here inside the sole there. Spring Step with it looks like the toe graphic there. Just some kind of like casual, weird, thin leather loafers, but they went. Keep an eye on those. More boots, vintage Chisholms. I think I got these up for like 60 or 70 bucks, but those are really cool. Elephant print. This was a new brand to me. Earth Janelle. Picked those up at I think it was an estate sale. Yeah, I think that one was an estate sale. Again, my shoes are usually about $2 to $5 cost of goods. Clothes, I'm really at $2 cost of goods, but shoes, I'll go up a couple bucks depending on their condition. These ones were in great condition. Make sure you're looking out for Earth Janelle. I think this one was style dependent though. So be careful on this one. I don't think this one, if you're a beginner or you're really into sell-through rates, you might want to be careful on this one. I should get rid of them just because I sell a lot of this style pretty well. So we'll keep an eye on it, but this should be gone within 90 days. Oh, this was a killer one. So Brent shirts, always keep an eye out for these. This is one I do know well. I don't get them a lot, but when I do get them, I know that they're gone. I don't need to research them. So let's take a quick look at this here. This is like 50s, 60s workwear shirts. So this is a Brent shirt from the 50s, tan, short sleeve, casual, classic, whatever. Here's the tag. So it's an old Montgomery Ward brand. I guess I forgot that part. Anyway, check those out. They do really well. And you can get a pretty good penny for it. So $50. I'll probably get low 40s for this in the end, though, if I remember right. It's been a while since I've sold a Brent, but here's a pair of Ionics Rosemont sneakers. So there was a sale I went to not too long ago where all these Vionics popped up, and they were all practically new. I think I got like 16 pair. It was a sweet pickup deal. And I think I got them all for like $3 each. And if you know anything about Vionics, they sell retail. You can go on the Vionic website and they sell retail for anywhere from like $120 up to like $250, something like that. So I would say like $150 average. But check out the Vionic website. Anyway, so the resale is pretty good. It's not like a insane sell-through rate, but they go pretty quickly. And they will go anywhere from $30 to like $60, $70 a pair. And what happened was I got all like 16 pairs listed. And I don't know if it's because I listed them all quickly or batched them or whatever, but I almost got popped for a Vero. I had to take these down off of eBay because, you know, a lot of brands right now are going through contracting companies. I don't know what the company was, but they hire companies to search for their products online and then send you not necessarily a cease and desist letter, but something that will want some verification. You know, that, hey, does this come from one of our distributors? What is this? So I didn't screw around with it. I just pulled them all down off of eBay. They are legit. I've sold enough Ionics to know if they're legit or not. And since I'm on 6 different platforms, it's fine. It'll sell over on Poshmark and all these other sites. But with eBay, if you guys have been around a while, you don't screw around with Vero stuff. If you get warnings or, you know, like how I had to pull that dress the other day, I already forgot the name. I talked about it at the top of this video. How I pulled that right away once I got the sniff of it possibly being fake. Now with these, someone else getting a sniff that they could be possibly fake. They're not. I think they weren't even suggesting that they were fake. They were just suggesting in the letter that, hey, we need some kind of proof that this is coming from one of our legit sources. Probably because I posted so many at once. It's probably what got me flagged. But anyway, I pulled them down off eBay. I just wanted to bring that up so that way you guys are being careful. If you get any kind of gut feeling or any kind of weird little letter from someone saying, hey, is this legit? Just pull it down until you know for sure. Even if you think you know for sure, here you go, it's ended. These were being sold for $36. Even if you do know for sure, like I did, pull it down, do your due diligence, and then do what you need to do after that. Right now, I'm keeping them up on the other sites. Here's another pair of those Vionics. So I got several of them, and they're all really nice. They're almost in new condition, or some of them were new. They still had stickers on the bottom and stuff. But with shoes, I'll still just put excellent or almost new or whatever that designation is. New without tags, that kind of thing. Under promise, over deliver. You know, that's kind of a great motto, especially with shoes. Here's another one of those Vionics. So as you can see, they're all in really sweet condition. Really nice pieces. Another pair of boots, Dan Post. And here's an Idaho classic rope vintage hat, trucker hat. And it's, oh, that's what it was. This one's a vintage auto cap. I want to show you the auto label. Because when you're out and about, you know, a lot of people don't sell hats. I will on occasion, especially if it's something like this. Because these are highly sought after. The old vintage autos. So if you can find that with like a kind of a cool hipster style like that. It's gonna go. What do I have? Yeah, what, 19 views on it already? I think I've already gotten a few offers on it somewhere. Oh, Depop, of course. If you guys sell on Depop, you know that that's where this is probably gonna sell. Pretty cool vintage Saddle King. There's the label up here, pearl snap. It's got the flat pockets there. A nice one there. Oh, yeah. Always get my Kangles whenever I can. I don't know. I'm an 80s kid. So I just remember these, and all the kids in my school, or not all the kids in my school, but a lot of kids in my school wearing these old Kangol hats, and I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. It's a vintage one too. It's got that Great Britain patch on the inside. That's what you're looking for. They're not like a great sell-through or anything. It's pretty saturated with Kangols, but you get the right one in the right style. This is one of the better ones with the really nice weaving here. You'll get asking, I think 20, 30 bucks. Here's a Sims. Again, it's got that kind of unique, or not again, but it's got that unique ear flap warmer thing here. And Sims, if you know anything about Sims, usually their clothing does pretty well. I don't get many Sims hats. I think I've sold maybe one or two in the past, and they did okay. This one's got a little bit of wear, some staining here on the... I'm showing you hats like I sell a lot of hats. I really don't. This was kind of a weird one because this is vintage Zodiac, and it is getting a lot of action on a few sites. But the only problem I'm running into is, as you can see, it looks like it's dirty. That's not dirt. That's actually a gold inlay kind of paint that they put on this. They're called Zodiac Rusty Cowboy Boots. So if you run across this brand, Zodiac, and it's written on the inside there, inside the leather, and you see this kind of stuff that you think is dirt, it's not. Pick them up. Some Evos. That's kind of no, this is a new brand to me. Let's take a look at the label. And I think the sell-through wasn't bad either. I don't pick these up. Maybe you guys pick these up a lot, but Evo Burke stretch pants. You're looking for this tag here. I don't remember what the sell-through rate was. I'm pretty sure it was over 50% though. 32, look for that there. 3 times dry. So just some kind of commuter cycling chinos. I don't know why I've got cycling there in the word. I leverage AI with my titles too. Now, I only, to try to bring my hours down during the day, especially my listing process. And I'm trying to get up like 30 a day. So, okay. Hey guys, thanks so much for coming around. That's just some of the items I picked up this week. Stick around. If you're still around right now, be sure to like this video and subscribe for me. That'll really help me out, help me continue doing this. I will bring you a what sold for this week, this coming Tuesday. So I'll see you then. Ciao for now.